Finally, after 11 months, over 1,100 episodes, 17 videos, and 50 odd manga chapters, I am finally caught up to One Piece. So now is the first time in my entire series that no one watching this video is ahead of me. So just for reference, at the time of recording, the latest manga chapter is 1148, and the last thing I saw in the anime before reading on was Luffy vs Kizaru in Egghead. So I will only be covering anything from that up to the most recent chapter. First on the agenda is the rest of my now favourite arc, Egghead. And oh boy, this was a big one to say the least. I honestly expected the rest of Egghead to go, you know, the Straw Hats have to fight off the Navy Admirals and then escape Egghead. Whoop-de-doo. However, everything changed when the 5 elders attacked. These guys are friggin' awesome and incredibly threatening villains. The end of Egghead was what I can only describe as beautiful chaos, thanks to the 5 elders, and as the separated Straw Hats scrambled to group up and escape the island. However, before that, we had Kuma's backstory, and let me tell you, as soon as episode 1128 dropped, and I watched the opening again, I noticed something that never would have caught my eye if I didn't read on, and that is the short clip in the opening that shows Kuma writing one of his letters to Bonnie, and I am officially moving the opening to S tier now. I have always loved when openings show things that haven't happened yet, that when you see it at first you don't think much of it, but when you're done with the season you realize the most blatant spoiler was right in front of your face the whole time and you never even noticed. Obviously, Dear Bonnie isn't a blatant spoiler, but a lot of openings do it and it works so well. However, I don't like openings that show something that never happens. So anyway, Kuma's backstory was the best backstory of all time, and that bitch, oh that little bitch that ripped up the letters, I have beef with you now, come scrap me outside Sainsbury's. One thing I forgot to talk about here was Bonnie's Gear 5. It doesn't make sense, but I'm cool with it because it's cool. I mean, it kind of makes sense a little bit if you really think about it, but still, it's a bit questionable, but it happened and I'm not complaining about it. So yeah, moving back to the actual video. One more thing I want to say before I move on to Elbaf is that it was genuinely jarring the first time I saw how much smaller Nami's boobs are in the manga. Like, I knew that anime had made them bigger for fan service, but the difference is crazy. Not that I'm complaining though, Toei, you're doing great. Right, Elbaf. So far, Elbaf is absolutely amazing. I especially love the outfits in this arc. I never normally mention outfits in these videos, but I figured I'd make an exception for Elbaf because everyone looks awesome and super snug. The Elbaf arc's villains look super duper epic and threatening. I can't wait to see them fight the main characters. It's also really cool how they gave one of them a dynamic with Shanks through being his brother. Personally, I'm hoping Shanks will rock up later and fight that guy. That would be really cool to see, and his Devil Fruit ability is really cool. Speaking of Devil Fruit abilities, Sommer's Fruit is really threatening. I love it. Just the idea of thorns as an ability in an anime is really cool because thorns hurt, like, a lot. So just seeing these characters getting impaled and the children walking with invisible thorns around them gives that sense of dread that there's no way to save them. So the newest chapter left off with Gaban, or Gaban, I don't know, swooping in to fight Soma, whatever. And that should be interesting, since I saw a theory today that Gaban's power rivals that of Rayleigh's, so I'm eagerly awaiting the next chapter for that. One more thing I want to talk about, and this may potentially be a big spoiler for future chapters if it's true, so if you don't want to take any risks, I suggest skipping to this timestamp. because apparently there's evidence that this thing is going to happen, but I have no idea where it's from, so I take it with a grain of salt. That is that, allegedly, one of the Straw Hats in Elbaf will not only fulfill their dream, but also die. And apparently that's confirmed. I've seen multiple articles about it, but I have no idea where this source of information comes from. The character I saw theorized to obtain this fate was Usopp, because he could die by sacrificing himself in a brave way, therefore living his final moments as a brave warrior of the sea. And I totally agree he's the most likely option, seeing as all the other Straw Hat streams I can think of are literally incompletable while on Elbaf, unless by some miracle Mihawk rocks up or the all blue is the ocean surrounding it, etc. None of these seem realistic to me, so if what I've read is really true, we'll most likely be saying goodbye to Usopp soon, as sad as that may be. As far as future One Piece videos from me go, I have a few lined up I want to do, one ranking every 100th episode to kind of wrap this series up in a nice little bow. I also want to make a video talking about my theories for the end of the series, or just going forward in general. I might do an arc tier list in the future, but drop any more One Piece video ideas in the comments to keep my views up. Thank you. Also, join the Discord. It's been getting wild down there lately, so make sure you click the link in the description and join in on the shenanigans. I'd also like to mention the One Piece Discord server got the chapters a few days early and put them in announcements, which is how I read the newest chapter on Friday instead of Sunday when it comes out. So I'll link that server under my stuff if you're not in it already. I also have a mal down there, so if you wonder what I'm up to anime-wise, I update it every time I remember it exists, so that's also in the description. The last thing I want to mention is some guy called Jim in my Discord made a bet that if he rewatched One Piece and passed me before I caught up to the anime, I'd have to watch something of his choice for a video, and because he doesn't have a life, he succeeded, and after giving me like 5 shows I've already seen, we finally settled on Mecha Ood, and he's been begging me to mention it in a video recently, so I'm mentioning it now. Are you happy, Jim? Anyways, that's gonna do it for the real final One Piece update video, and I'll see you in another video. Bye bye. And now we wait for the 8-minute mark so I can get mid-roll ads. So, seeing as we have 30 seconds, how are you doing today? I've had a pretty good day myself. If you can't tell, I'm not a very talkative person. But thanks for the money. And I think it should be 8 minutes now. Okay, you can go now. Goodbye.